Good morning. This is Richard back at you. Today we're working on a 2003 GMC Yukon. It come in with a mass airflow sensor code in it, and the tranny's burn up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the tranny apart, see what it burned up in the tranny, repair that part, get the tranny put back together, put it back in, and put another mass airflow sensor on it, clear the codes. We'll be putting a pressure gauge on it right here, going and driving it and making sure that we have a line pressure rise and stuff like that in the tranny. Now, anytime you have a mass airflow sensor code, the computer takes your mass airflow sensor, your map sensor, and your TPS switch and calculates it for load. And when they take it, takes that load, that's how it raises EPC pressure in the tranny. So if you get a code in any three of those right there, you can have major problems right there with the tranny burning up. So if check engine light comes on, you need to check it, especially when the tranny starts acting up when the code comes on. So let's get this thing apart. So it does look like it's been rebuilt before. It does have an aftermarket torque converter in it. The fluid is just cooked. Now you'll really have TCC problems when you have a mass airflow sensor code and stuff like that. Erratic shifting, you know, just all kinds of stuff. So this old tranny's toasted. I mean, you can just really smell it really good.
I had a question. Somebody was asking me, how does the transmission work if you have a car that is speed density? Well, I do a little bit of tuning, and what you do is you max out your values of your mass airflow sensor, in which the actual vehicle will go over and work off your map and TPS and calculate it off of that, and not your mass airflow anymore. So that's how that works.
This tranny's been in there a while since it's been rebuilt, or it's had a torque converter put in it, it looks like. Got a little nice paint job on the cover there.
I was wondering, painted housing, painted cover.
Oh yeah, the housing's even nice to paint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything great here, just your standard servo. No Corvette servo or nothing like that. I think it's good.
It's bad.
I'm almost having to hold my breath on this one.
Oh, it's bad.
I'm not talking, and I'm like trying to breathe.
You're the first one to have the pan off. Oh my gosh.
So here we go.
That's not good.
If we don't take a mass airflow sensor, it won't burn up a tranny. Here's one right here that'll do it. We get a lot of people saying it won't, but let me tell you, we've been doing this a long time. And then we'll do it every time.
Go and hook your mass airflow sensor, see what happens. No, I don't think you could do that, but
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm kidding.
Don't try this at home.
But you just have all the people out there that say it won't kill a transmission. It's just really funny.
A lot of people out there don't even know what a pressure gauge is, so this filter is just totally plugged up, which we knew that would happen. But if you, this thing is, if you notice here, there's no, this seal up in here, right here, They might have done a service on it one time or another, but this seal is so hard, there's no suction on the filter neither.
Right, almost sucked by it.
Yeah, it almost could suck air through there. So, you know, that could be a big issue right there. You know, that could burn the tranny up too, so. A lot of things that can burn these trannies up. Here we go again, how oil can run out these bolts right here. Even though you have an O-ring, see that little O-ring right there? You can put a new one on there, tighten that bolt down, that thing can still leak. That's why we always silicone those bolts. We had a customer say, Richard, you use a lot of silicone. I said, yeah, but we don't have no leaks. I'd rather have a double seal than have one come back leaking. Because the worst thing you can do on a tranny is a leak. #1 killer. It will take it right out. We do so many of these 4L60Es, it's unreal. We do probably 5 or 6 a week of these things, not counting whatever else we can put in the mix. To a broken transfer case, to a broken overdrive housing, to you name it.
What have we done this week? Man, rear end job,
Yeah,
Allison, transfer case, overdrive housing.
I'm just gonna put my bolts there, that pencil now.
Yeah.
The thing doesn't have any additive or nothing in it, but man, it has a smell to it.
That fluid.
No pillow switch, just caked in metal. This thing's gonna have a lot of burnt something in it. And here's your 3 longer 8mm bolts. In your little L form right here, you want to make sure you put them back there. Let's see what he's got down here. Like I think it's been apart before, so see if they. Yeah, see, there's nothing been done to the lockup system in the valve body or anything. It's just all stock stuff. So we can make this thing work really nice. When we get done with it. Your check bolts here. This here's the one that usually beats itself through the case, but they've already done a repair on it right there. So it's already been beat through once before, and that little ball just sits right on there, like that. And the 1-2 accumulator. It's got an aftermarket piston in it. It doesn't look like it has a shift kit or anything like that. Those look like stock springs and stuff, so we'll still put a new piston in there. And you know that, make sure that looks good. And you got your round hole, square hole. You always want to make sure that matches. And then on your gasket, it says valve body. And then the other one will say case. So get that off there. See right there, it says case. And both sides will have the round hole, square hole. So you want to make sure you get that right. Kind of weird these things. Gaskets are kind of stuck to it.
Might have got a little hot.
I think it's been really hot. really hot.
Oh yeah, it started cooking to it, huh?
Mm-hmm. You see these retainers, you know, that's why we always glue all of ours on, because you can just really pull them off with your finger. There's really nothing, you know. It was a good idea as long as you glue it on. Now we did a unit here the other day we put in after a rebuild, and we couldn't get no converter fill and we couldn't get no cooler line flow. The tranny filled up and stuff like that with the gun, but it wouldn't pump any fluid out of the cooler line, and it wouldn't put any fluid in the torque converter for some reason. We couldn't figure out why. Good cooler flow, everything like that. Had a pump that looked brand new. Couldn't find anything wrong with the pump. We found another pump, rebuilt that pump, put it in there, put the tranny back in, and it fixed our problem. Could not physically figure out what was wrong with the pump, why it wouldn't fill the converter or the flow out the cooler line. But we did just put a pump in and fix it. So trannies are pretty crazy. You can have perfect parts, put them in and not work and have issues. So this pump here is destroyed. You can really feel the rutting through here. So much metal run through it. So it'll have to have another pump stator body there. So we can look at this. Let's see.
I mean, you're just pouring out metal.
Yeah. But you can replace these two pieces separately. You don't have to keep them matched. They have to match, but I can get another piece here and put it on here as long as they match and clean up good. Don't want to forget your little spring. Make sure your pin doesn't have any wear. This feels really good. Don't feel anything. This body right here actually has wear here too. Try to get a rag, kind of wipe it out a little bit. I mean, you can kind of see the shadow, but you can feel it too with your finger.
Yeah, you can almost really see the groove of it.
So we'll have to put a whole new pump and stuff in this thing here. It's pretty much wiped out. Let's see. I thought I started seeing wear here, but not really.
Stator.
Yeah, you kind of see some stuff going on there. But new pump. We were worried about getting this thing apart. It just being totally wiped out. We have to get a whole nother tranny to fix it, because anchor right there. The bands, the 2/4 band, just a stock band. I mean, it's down to the metal. Nothing left of it.
Smoked.
So, yep, we got our drums. Probably gonna be toast. So we'll have to clean it up, put a deal on that. See if it's even worth looking at. See. It's got a bad bow. See the bow? So that tells me this drum's no good. We'll have to put another drum in there too. probably going to see everything burn up in this tranny. All the shifting components going up are going to be burned up. This your reverse clutch, it's going to be good. Doesn't have nothing to do with going forward or anything like that. So I'm curious to see what this all looks like. Did that get you?
No. One splattered on me earlier, but
now this is your 3/4 clutch. I mean, it's totally burned up. These are bowed.
oh yeah,
look
hold
like
on.
a dish.
Yeah, hold that up. That's crazy. Almost looks like a, what do you call it? A bevel plate?
Yeah.
Wow.
See, all the load springs are no good. They're almost down into the housing.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's not much. Normally they stick up pretty far. These are no good. If you got a new one, you can compare them. I got videos out there that you can kind of look at to see how I compare a new one to an old one. Then the rest of 3/4 clutch.
Toast.
Yes, sir. Forward clutch, engine brake clutch, all still there. Teeth are getting sharp on the sides and stuff a little bit, but that's the better looking pieces of the tranny so far.
Right.
You always want to check this bearing right here. It's really bad about wearing. You'll get a noise in park and neutral if this bearing gets a lot of people think it's a pump winding, but it's this bearing right here. I never talked about this seal. They made an early version which was a hard plastic seal, and they had problems with this lip breaking off. And when that lip broke off, you'd lose your oil flow from here back into here, and that's how it lubricates the rear of the transmission, because this tranny starts lubricating from the front, goes to the rear. So the seal sets on there like that. Well, the early design seal was a hard plastic, and after a while that plastic would break and then all the oil would fall out and burn the rear planets up in the tranny. So then they come out with this design, but you got to be careful putting this design in a 700 because they physically move the lube hole right here a little bit on this shaft if you ain't careful. So you got to look at it really close, so you get in trouble. That's one of the prettiest hubs I've seen in a long time.
Look brand new.
Almost look brand new,
crazy.
didn't it? They probably put that in. It was probably destroyed one time before.
Right.
It's probably ain't the original pieces. Because this sprag isn't. Looks really nice. See a little staining, but no markings or grooves. I mean. And see, this is an aftermarket dual cage, so it has had a new sprag assembly put in it. What's crazy here, though, you notice how all this dirt's stationary. The sprag was never spinning in this. It was only spinning on this the whole life of the sprag.
That's crazy.
See that? There's so many elements on the outer side of it to drag, and even though it's that many here, I guess there's just less surface area here, and it spins more on that there on this one.
Right. And then locks.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, all of them come in that way pretty much.
Yeah. She's bright and yellow in there.
Oh, see that one. We had some of the strongest coffee at IHOP this morning. I tell you, we had to actually come back and
It was
put water in it. It was like if my spoon would stand up in it.
Underneath. Oh, right there.
Too far.
Ah, there she blows. Aha. He's not lying. That coffee is blacker than that fluid.
Just got a standard shell. Nothing great about it. We'll put a hardened one in here. You can tell it's starting to strip or not. Actually, that could be a hardened shell.
It almost looks like one, just so
Like
dirty.
it is, yeah. This has a roller bearing hub. You always want to look inside here for any type of wear. Get that out of there. I like working with things here.
I was about to say, grab a screw. There you go.
Okay.
Never try to take one of those out
You know
with a
me, I
strap.
grab the most thing closest.
And it's
And then you
wore
can
out.
see the war. It's wore in here on the teeth again. They hardened this really nice. We don't see any wear here anymore, like the early designs with the washer style. The washer style didn't wear here, it wore here. Now this one here doesn't wear here, it wears here. But this is a better style, no matter how you look at it when you upgrade it to the bearing. It just works so much better. Check your forward planet for any type of wear, wobble in your gears, any pitting, especially here too where your bushing wears. That bushing right there runs right here, you see it. So your new hub will come with a new bushing in it too, so looks really good. Tap washer. Same way with your sun gear here, you want to look for any wear on both sides of the gear. It sets on there like that. Always reach in here and pull that out. My last thing is just habit forming to look for that right off the bat. Even after 40 years, I still look for that. Kind of crazy. I don't see too many people leaving it out or anything though. Just look at your sprag assembly here. If you have to replace it, always look for your lip here. See if you have a short or a tall one. Always look here for any type of wear, type of chattering or stuff like that. Scotch-Brite this really good when you put it back in. Always make sure you're putting a wide sprag back in these units.
Scotch-Brite is your friend.
Yeah.
Can you show him just to buff it just a little?
This is what we use here. This stuff, we actually get the big sheets, but right now the coronavirus, whatever you want to call that stuff.
Corvette.
Yeah, the Corvette.
Yeah, I hate it.
It's got us
Right.
all jacked up. What I do, let me close up right here first and kind of like that.
Okay.
Low reverse clutch here. Now this is an updated GM Planet right here. You want to check these for any type of wobbling. These I always have to clean up to feel really good because I can't do it with this dirt and oil on them.
That one.
But you see this little slinger they put on here. It's to direct the fluid into the gear more. That way they get more of the concentrate, the oil onto the gear.
Here's our ruined one.
Yeah. Yeah, here you go. You can see this one doesn't have that cover. This one does. And actually these pins are hollow on here, and where these pins aren't, and it directs that oil through that pin. That way that roller gets oil physically into the bearing itself. See, that's what they did that for, because they just had problems with these not getting enough oil on them. So they actually did different things here too. On the this one's the same, but I just grabbed this one over there. Let's see if I got that one that's different. What they did, this is an updated one here. This used to be a flat cut right here, and then they took and shaved this off now to kind of angle that oil out to get it back onto the gear like that. And you can see that hole right here. I was talking about how that lube seal right here, if you ain't careful, that seal, that oil hole has been moved a little bit on the early versions, and this seal covers it up, so you got to be careful. But anyway, where'd my race go? Trent? But you can take this race right here and put it on here, and take this Scotch-Brite. Normally I use a big pad, but you can sit here and just Scotch-Brite this like this.
And it's gonna make it look like brand new.
Yeah, that cleans them up really nice. Any transmission seminar you go to, they'll tell you Scotch-Brite's gonna be your friend. And this stuff works really good. It's not really taking any metal off. It's actually putting pores in the metal to where oil can get in there and actually help lube that sprag even better. Let me kind of clean this up.
Okay. A little wash station. All of our broken Dodge pieces up there. Our trophy of a billet broken pieces.
Come on, if you know. Not done. I can hit it just a couple more times too, but it changed the whole total look at
big
that.
time.
And just by using some Scotch-Brite on here and going around and cleaning up real good. Same like this. If this was good, this wasn't bad, and this was, you know, and all you had to do is come in here and, you know, Scotch-Brite this up really good. And then when you clean, you know, after you clean it up and stuff, it polishes a lot, but it puts enough fine scratches in there to put a little bit of oil in them scratches to keep that bearing or that bushing with oil on it, instead of just being a real shiny surface.
It looks new surface to run on.
Works really good. So this whole tranny's a mess, all because of a mass airflow sensor. So we'll get this thing put back together with all new clutch bands and a pump and a lot of love and tender care. Basically, but we're going to put a pressure gauge on this thing after we get the tranny back in to verify that we have the correct pressure rise and stuff like that, that everything's a jive and like it's supposed to be. So if y'all need anything, give us a holler at Precision Transmissions. Y'all have a great day.